I've lived in these mountains for 20 years, and it's taught me that the best things in life aren't trends, they're habits. This channel is about that quieter way of living, real fibres, second-hand finds, honest crafting, and stepping off the treadmill without looking back. No 9 to 5, no keeping up, just a life built around what actually matters. Come and see what that looks like. Well, welcome back to my channel. I'm just out with my daughter and our 2 dogs, and spring has sprung. Just look at that beautiful tree. Plants are sprouting all over the village, and the sunshine and the warm air just make you feel alive.
Good morning, everybody. I've just made myself the foamiest cappuccino and I'm enjoying it on my balcony. Spring has definitely sprung. So this video is a short one because I've been very, very busy in my garden. I have been working so hard that I've spent all my time working in the garden and less time than I should have done actually filming about it. But anyway, I have filmed some, but for now I'll just let the videos that I've made recently run and you can see for yourself what I've been up to. Knitting updates next time. It's come to a bit of a standstill because the pattern got confusing, but I'll go through that with you next time. And obviously I've been working in my garden and I have been so exhausted I didn't even have the energy to pick up some needles. Lots of cars in the background. I feel as though they're doing the rally again, which is very intrusive on a beautiful day like today. But that, I seem to think, is a Harley Davidson motorbike on the road by the sound of the engine. So they're obviously out for a wonderful ride on a beautiful spring day. So here we go.
I recently went to a restaurant.
I'll put you on, but I'll cut you out or something.
A little bit more pricey than I normally go to, but I've been saying I'm going to go for ages. I had an absolutely delicious meal. We had asparagus souffle with a cheesy sauce to start. Absolutely delicious. And then homemade tagliatelle with truffles, finished by a generous slice of apple pie with ice cream and cream. And my daughter always has panna cotta with fruit. Absolutely delicious. It's quite a rustic setting, but it was very peaceful, very refined, very elegant, and just what I needed actually. As you can see, the tables were all set beautifully. Had a coffee to finish.
I'm in my garden today. Sorry about my dog barking. I've just come down. I keep my dogs on the balcony so they can see me and have got access to my house so they can get warm. In my garden to do some more work. It doesn't seem like it's going to rain, but the forecast was rain at 12 o'clock. It's already been a funny old day because we had an earthquake at 8:15 this morning, but here where I am, it was just 2 seconds and it was like a wave. Just a couple of seconds, I could hear the rumble, because you hear a rumble when there's an earthquake, for those of you that have never experienced one. And anyway, I fully intended to come out today and try and get some of these stones cleaned. I need to rake them into a pile. I've got a riddle. I bought a riddle because I didn't have one. My dad always had one. I didn't have one. And the only way to clean these stones, because I have tried rinsing them with water, is just to rake them into a big pile. And as the border is lower here, I'll just shake the soil back into the border. There is what they call a talo here. It's an anti-weed sheet, but it was put down 20 years ago and it's all starting to degrade. So it's not really working at the moment. So I've weeded as best I can, and as I go around I will be pulling out any remaining weeds, and I'm going to want to put a strip of the talo down here today if possible, after I've raked up the stones, so that way I can start riddling, if you call it riddling, shaking the soil out with my riddle, and the soil will go in here and the stones will go in here. I've got roses to plant. I brought one down, but unfortunately, because I bring a bag of tricks down, my gardening stuff, and my riddle, it slipped out my hands and it fell down the stairs. So now there's some roots exposed. I hope it's okay. So the place that I wanted to plant it was there. So I'm going to have to move the table as well, because I don't want to leave the poor thing like that. In fact, I think I'll put it in the shade so that the roots don't dry out. I'll give it a good watering as well. I apologise for the sound. I haven't got my microphone because I just want to work in the garden today, and I'll come down another time. What I do have to do is try and get this marble off the table to move the table, unless I just move it forwards for now. The marble is heavy and there's only me. Anyway, I'll see what I can do. I'll see you later. Right, I've just planted my rose here. I do hope it's okay. I've given it loads of water and I'll give it loads more before I go back in. I've got to go back up to my balcony where I've got some plants in a short while. I'm going to try and scrape up these stones onto the paved area first. But I wanted to plant a rose just in this corner. Get rid of all those terracotta old pots. I can use those to go at the bottom of any pots I've got for potted plants. And I wanted to put one here. There's an old lavender here. Now it's all woody. It looks awful from the inside of the garden, but when it's growing it looks beautiful from the outside because it kind of trails down. But I have a couple, but they're really... Do I disguise them? Or do I just get rid of them? Let me know what you think, because I can put plants to disguise these woody stems if needs be. Anyway, what would you do in my position? This here is a grapevine, the one my previous video I was trimming down. Anyway, back to work, because maybe it will rain in half an hour. Well, the dogs are barking because I moved the marble. I managed to kind of lift it up. It wasn't moving. It was incredibly heavy and it fell back and fell on my finger, which is going to really, really swell. It's not broken, but it's going to really swell now. So I probably won't be able to bend that later on this evening. I have to get some ice on it. But that was me being silly because I was determined to create more light for my rose. And yeah, I did my usual. I usually do this, whereas I think I can do it myself because I want my job done now. Over the years I have learnt patience. It's not about getting it now, it's about getting it done properly. But I just thought, oh, my poor rose has suffered because it fell down the stairs. It's had everything's tried to fall on this poor rose, so I've given it a water. It does look a little bit crispy and dry. If it does rain, it will be a godsend for it. But my poor finger, it's swelling already. I can feel it. Yeah, okay. It's not going to hamper me though. I was wearing gloves, but oh, it looks quite painful. It feels quite painful too. Well, it's about 20 minutes later. I do think the blue sky is gone. It is going to rain. That's where the rain comes from. I have planted another rose. A bit worried about this one. I have to say I've cut back a big piece of the lavender that was hanging over. Unfortunately, I think it's looking more and more like I'm going to have to take this out completely because I can't afford for this rose to be shaded too much. I'm going to see if I can plant this rose before the rain comes, but in any case, even if it starts raining, I'm just going to have to finish the job. So I'll see you later.
Right, I've just finished the last rows. Amazingly enough, it took me about 5 minutes, but I need to put a lot of water on there now. Now, it's impossible to actually believe that this is exactly the same day, just over an hour from the start of this video. The wind has got up. It's looking very stormy. I do think, because look in the distance, that's the way the weather comes. In the distance, you probably can't see it on the camera. There's blue sky and fluffy clouds. But just look at this. It's actually filming a lot lighter than it is in real life. It's going that way. Look. Oh, that's more like it. Dark cloud. It hasn't started raining yet. I am going to water my rose because it needs a lot of water. I don't like the wind. What a strange day. To wake up with an earthquake and to just be blown to bits in the garden. And I just felt the first couple of drops of rain on my hand. So it's actually after midday here, lunchtime. I'm pretty hungry after all this work. So I'm going to go in soon. Thank you for joining me in my little gardening. It's hard to imagine. I haven't gone in yet. I'm just tidying up my tools. It's hard to imagine how this is ever going to look very nice at all. It's a tiny, tiny bit of garden. I have a bigger garden further down the mountain, just down this pathway here. There's a pathway that goes down there. That pathway leads to my garden, a bigger garden. It's hard to imagine how lovely this is going to look, but it will. It will. So with the magic of AI, I thought I would create my vision for you. This is the weather later in the evening. It didn't rain a lot, but I think there's a lot of rain to come. So I'm going home. I'm just with Lucy. It's windy again, as you can hear. I'm just on my way home. Well, it's the day after I filmed yesterday in the garden. And it did rain a little bit later on, and what you're seeing now, you can't actually see it coming down, but that white haze is actually snow. It's snowing, very, very fine. I'm not sure you can see it on the camera, but you know, just as spring had sprung, it snowed. By the way, in case you've been wondering, I'm drinking out of this mug, which is one of the things that my dear friends who moved house recently gave to me. It's Cornish coast, blue and white stripes, but there is a little chip there. I don't mind for me. I've only got one, and it's a wonderful size to have a nice creamy cappuccino, which is absolutely delicious this morning. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I will be back in 2 weeks' time with a knitting update and also possibly a sewing update, because I'm getting really keen to do some sewing. That's hopefully I manage to get this garden finished. So it remains to be said. See you next time.